So this is the Baby Angel Geronimo edition of the KhoodeelaarTV television channel being broadcast at 23:58 hours GMT on Wednesday, 17th of August 2022 on the internet, not on terrestrial, not on satellite, not on cable platforms. So this one will include our commentary, original diagnostic commentary on the role of the daily lying Boris Johnson graph, which has got the Wednesday's front page of the daily Boris Johnson graph as the stupidest piece attributed to the most idiotic, corrupt, racist, ignorant, backward, depraved remnant of Theresa May's kind of bureaucracy. A thing whose name is even not spelled correctly according to the code of the spelling that this idiot is supposed to abide by. This is about the Slavery Act, and we shall come to that shortly. So that is one. And the other is the piece on the front page of the Times of Wednesday, the 17th of August 2022, which is a picture of the racist Jeremy Paxman. And the caption reads something that he's finishing his presenting of the University Challenge after 28 years. Now, years before that, I did the definitive outing of this racist in the mid-1980s and diagnosed his racist stupidity based on his remarks and his pathetic bias, racist bias against a number of African origin or Caribbean origin black youths who had been either prosecuted at the time or convicted of sexual assault or rape of a white girl. All of that prosecution and conviction, etc., would go without any objection from us from the standpoint of fighting racism, opposing racism. But the selective way, racistly selective and ignorant way that Jeremy Paxman fronting the nationwide program kind of treated these black youths is what I focused on. Until I diagnosed Jeremy Paxman as the racist that he is and was, Paxman was not anything other than an ordinary BBC news program presenter. But not long after I diagnosed him, did the BBC morons decide to launch Jeremy Paxman as a national treasure. I shall come to that during the duration of this program. In every single promotion of Paxman ever since has been manifestly evident as an effort by his promoters, the racist establishment in the media, to give him credibility and give him kind of gravitas that he did not have. That Paxman is a shallow man became dramatically clear when the self confessed homosexual Matthew Paris outed outed Mandy Mandelson as a homosexual who had a South American homosexual boyfriend called Ronaldo. This Matthew Paris did during an appearance on the Newsnight program edition that was being fronted by Jeremy Paxman. And as soon as Matthew Paris outed Mandy Mandelson in the detailed way that he did out him, in the establishment quarters, alarm bell rang. And before Matthew Paris left the BBC studio, it became very clear that Matthew Paris, by naming Mandy Mandelson and his Brazilian or South American homosexual boyfriend as a shocking event. So not long after the end of that broadcast, particular Newsnight broadcast, Jeremy Paxman wrote a handwritten note and, according to reports, traveled to the home address of Mandy Mandelson and slid that handwritten note under the front door or under the door of whatever entrance he knew or he could contact of Mandy Mandelson's home. And that particular note by Jeremy Paxman was oozing with apology. Significant point is that Paxman went out of his way in that note to deny any involvement in Matthew Paris's shocking revelation about Mandy Mandelson's homosexual boyfriend from South America. And he offered, that is, Jeremy Paxman, his most profound apologies to Mandy Mandelson. It is a matter of record also that episode or the various little episodes around the main episode of the outing of the homosexual boyfriend of Mandy Mandelson created not so discreet amusement and comment among the Little English establishment. And that incident actually hastened the demise of the myths surrounding Mandy Mandelson and so on as being invincible to disclosures like that one. While I have been on air or doing this broadcast, I'm sure any number of people have worked out what I'm going to say about Paxman. Because I'm going to say about Paxman that contrary to the praise in the Times, in the Daily Boris Johnson graph, and other titles in Fleet Street, to him, that is Mandy Mandelson, contrary to the mythology, Mandy Mandelson and Alistair Campbell, his co-criminal in the regime of Tony Blair in the propaganda, the co-criminal thugs that terrorized all critics of Tony Blair internally. Dot, 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 dot. So when Mandy Mandelson apparently was asked about Jeremy Paxman's apology to him, that nothing came out of Mandelson's mouth that could be repeated or reported or referred to. We shall come to the role played by Mandy Mandelson and Alistair Campbell in creating the regime around Tony Blair that actually smashed all pretense that Britain was a democratic country, that Britain was an accountable country, and it reinforced all the bad things that the image of the UK suffers from. This is the 17th of August 2022. 2 days after 14th and 15th of August 1947, the state of Pakistan as it is now, as it was on the 14th of August 1947, it had included East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. So that is one, which was the 14th of August. And the next day is 15th of August, which is marked by the much bigger neighbor, India, as the Independence Day for India. Independence from the British, the imperialists, the racists, etc. But remarkably, very remarkably, the fact that the British Empire ended in August 1947, as far as the subcontinent was concerned, there has been no acknowledgement of that by the House of Windsor or the Branda or the others in the corrupt British monarchy, racist monarchy, imperialist monarchy. Does Brenda think that by denying for 70 years, sorry, what is it? Well, 75 years, really denying the fact that the so-called colonies began to disappear, leave the so-called Commonwealth around August 1947. As the most recent popular poll conducted in Australia shows, most people in Australia, as so most people in Australia don't want the continuation of the monarchy. And this is something that is going to be repeated in other countries, especially countries like Canada and even Australia next door to New Zealand. Why? Because the symbol of monarchy, as is foisted on Australia, is a grotesquely offensive symbol. It is full of disrespect to the people, and so on. And that is the essential, basic objection to there being or having a monarchy. As has been seen by the various episodes, little episodes staged as unplanned, featuring Brenda. The role of Brenda is far from a passive monarch who is only doing the things that she has been asked by the elected aspect of government. Essentially, the passive aspect of the Brenda monarchy is the real stuff. That is to say, it's a pretension, because as David Cameron boastfully referred to a conversation with Brenda while Cameron was in post as Prime Minister. In the conversation that Cameron was reporting, Brenda was purring like a kitten. Well, he didn't say kitten, but purring is the qualifier that I'm using. And Brenda also played a part in boosting the votes of the Brexit morons by strategically, accidentally, remember, accidentally, letting it be known that she was against the United Kingdom staying on in the European Union. And of course, she does stage things like various kind of juicy, saucy sub events that give the most positive gloss to Sophie Edwards, the wife of Edwards, her youngest son. And after that is Brenda gives the biggest possible platforms to Williams's wife, Kate. So we'll end this particular episode 18 minutes, and we shall come back soon with the next episode. I think that would be better.